Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel once again. This is your friend Abhishek, but not a financial advisor. And today's video is gonna be another Cassava Sciences update video. Like I mentioned in my previous video, which was comparatively a short update video on Cassava Sciences, where I just stated my opinion and what I'm doing with Cassava Sciences stock. So like I said, that I will be making another Cassava Sciences stock update video where I will be putting some more in-depth analysis on what's happening with Cassava Sciences stock. And today's video also I would like to keep it short so that I don't just bore you guys with all the unnecessary information, because everything else, guys, is just noise. So I will just go through the article, what was the main reason why Cassava Sciences dropped massively, apart from the reason that the whole market is in a really bad shape with the bond yield rising and stuff like that, inflation and fear of recession and so on and so on. And therefore the businesses like Cassava Sciences, who are not generating any positive cash flow, in fact they are not generating any sort of revenue, and therefore it makes Cassava Sciences as one of the most riskiest investments plus speculative investment for the future. But despite of all these facts, guys, I do think that we do have a high risk to reward ratio with Cassava Sciences. And with that being said, guys, I'm not here to influence your decision in any way, in neither a positive nor in a negative way. I'm not a financial advisor, and if you need some sort of a financial advice, then go to a professional, please. I'm here just to give you guys my personal opinion, my honest opinion, my unbiased opinion. Yes, I am an investor in Cassava Sciences, but that doesn't give me any rights, and that doesn't influence my opinion, what I have to give or present to you guys. I'm not here to give you guys a blindfold to put on, and just be blind on whatever is happening with Cassava Sciences, because there are few points which I found quite logical by the scientists who were interviewed by this reporter from New York Times, which I found to be a bit logical and could be affecting Cassava Sciences in a negative way. So I will cover those points. So with that being said, guys, let's just jump on directly to the article. So sorry guys, before we start, you might hear a lot of in the video because I have allergies with the summer, and I hope I would still be able to convey the most important message to you guys. Okay, so here we are. So this particular article, released by Apura Mandavli, by the way, that's an Indian name, released an article against Cassava Sciences being an editor of New York Times. So she had to say a few things. So first of all, the drug's potential garnered enormous attention from investors, which we know. Alzheimer disease affect through 6 million Americans, a number that is expected to double by 2050. So she's starting like this, that it has garnered a lot of attention from the investors, which it shouldn't, first of all. But anyways, in this third line, she also mentions that this number is expected to double by 2050, which is actually a positive thing. So just keep this in mind, that how badly this is going against Cassava Sciences, but also in favor of Cassava Sciences if FDA approves the drug. Anyways, so we can see, but many scientists have been deeply skeptical of the company's claims, asserting that Cassava's studies were flawed, its methods are opaque, and its results improbable. Okay, so let's directly go on to the statements from the critics. So here, Dr. Roger Nicole, one of the neuroscientists at the University of California, San Francisco, said he was particularly angered that Cassava's work is partially funded by taxpayers, and all the company has received more than 20 million from the National Institutes of Health. This, according to me, guys, is really a stupid statement, to be honest. This drug should not be put into patients. It should never have been, never, he added. The longer this goes on, the more outraged I am. Guys, if a company is working on a drug which is going to be historical, and if they are really working on a disease which has no effective cure till now, then of course, if they are getting funded by National Institutes of Health, then National Institute of Health, NIH, must have seen something. And he's talking about they are getting funded by taxpayers, and the taxpayers' money is going to waste and all this bullshit. What about the short sellers report? Also, investors' money were put into stock market, and that money is now in negative. I'm sure many of the investors in Cassava Sciences are down by 60, 70, 80%, who bought at a high level, who bought at let's say $5, $10 level, I'm sure they would have sold, and maybe they entered at a higher place, so at a higher point, and then again they are down by 50-60%. So what about our money? Anyways, so I really don't like this statement, and this is quite kind of personal, to be honest, and they don't give any kind of reason and data to back their statements. This is what actually pisses me off a lot. So he's a neuroscientist, and without giving any let's say possible logical statement, just saying that they are partly funded by taxpayers' money and wasting taxpayers' money, they shouldn't be going forward. It's quite personal, and it's quite, yeah, BS. Anyway, so moving on, the next statement was, the overall conclusion with regard to Alzheimer's disease make no sense to me whatsoever. Dr. Thomas Sudhoff mentioned this. Yeah, again, no logical statement backing up this particular statement. Okay, no logical thesis, no science whatsoever, just a statement. Now, another critic and another statement is from Dr. Lawrence Honig, who says Cassava said that the theory is supported by strong evidence, which I also believe in, but in fact all the evidence seems to be from this lab, from their own lab. Dr. Honig, Lawrence Honig, said that, and who is a disease expert at Columbia. Now, this statement and this doubt has been raised a lot of times. Even in the short seller report, this was raised, but this has been cleared a lot of times. Cassava Sciences plasma p-tau data from Alzheimer's patients was generated by Quantrix Corporation, an independent company. Yeah. Also, the statement which was given that extensive use of Western blot analysis of foundational to Cassava Sciences research and therefore suspicious. So Western blot pattern was suspicious. And the fact was, Western blot analysis is foundational to the biotechnology industry. Western blotting is a standard lab technique used worldwide to detect a protein of interest. So this doubt, in my opinion, from Dr. Honig has already been clarified by Remy Barbier. And the best part is that these two scientists, Dr. Honig and Dr. Sudhoff, held a short position and participated in the citizens' petition. So this is quite astonishing, that how bogus these points from these scientists are. And you know what's happening? This is leading to a negative sentiment towards Cassava Sciences from the investors, not from me. I am still bullish with Cassava Sciences, but from some other investors. But that is not important. I'm not saying your money is not important. It is. But the most important thing is that that is creating a negative sentiment from the patients who want to enroll for their case study. And as we can see, the criticisms and retractions have dented Cassava's reputation. This month, the company told investors it had enrolled only 60 of 1,750 participants, which it needed for Alzheimer's trial. And this was also one of the points which was mentioned in the fire chat by Remy Barbier, which also led to a lot of panic amongst investors. And we saw that the stock was tanking, and yeah. So this is one of the things which I don't like what is happening with Cassava Sciences, and it's not the fault of Cassava Sciences, to be honest. It is bad. It is leading to, yes, delay in their case study, give out the results, and yeah, they will need more time, and therefore they will need more money. So this, in my opinion, yes, is a negative thing which is happening with Cassava Sciences, but again, it's not their fault. Okay, so this was one of the points which, in my opinion, is worrisome, and that is making more tension across all the investors, and not just investors but also within Cassava Sciences. Okay, so moving on, this is quite important. So Cassava reported that initial analysis of a trial that did include a placebo group showed highly anomalous data. So it had the data reanalyzed by an outside lab. The company later acknowledged that the second analysis was in fact conducted by its collaborator, Dr. Wong. So on this, another critic said, if the data is suspect in key papers and not just minor mistakes, you can't trust anything, said George Perry, a neuroscientist at the University of Texas at San Antonio and editor-in-chief of the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, who serves on the boards of companies with other drug candidates as well, and it will have to be independently validated. So he's kind of right. Yeah, in this case, I do agree with his point. And also, experts also pointed to several methodological oddities in the company's work. For example, Cassava has pointed to changes in the levels of certain molecules in cerebrospinal fluid, or CSF, as evidence of simulflam's effectiveness. But the levels that the company reported are out of range for the testing method that was used. This Dr. William Hu mentioned, and then he further added that one marker of inflammation was much higher than is typically reported for Alzheimer's disease patients. He added there is a clear discrepancy discrepancy, and this type of discrepancy really raises questions in terms of the rigor as well as reliability of these results. And then he further said that the company is relying on an outdated lab technique, which is Western blotting, which I already clarified, which Remy Barbier already clarified a year ago, but still this question has been coming up again and again, and which is used to detect proteins, was unusual because it does not have the sensitivity or reproducibility or accuracy of newer methods. So in another set of experiments, Cassava reported that suggesting that its drug was able to restore the shape of most of the filament A protein in the brain, a dramatic recovery that Dr. Sudhoff, who consults for drug companies and serves on the board of Sanofi, questioned. And Dr. Sudhoff said to this that there's no possibility, no rational way this could happen. So these statements was given by Dr. Honig, which was one of the critics, and Dr. Sudhoff, which we already covered, by the way, who held a short position. And then Elizabeth Bick, who has been against Cassava since ages, a leading expert in image manipulation, became aware of the company last summer after short sellers filed the FDA petition. In a series of Twitter posts posted on her blog and on website PubPeer, Dr. Big has pointed to signs that she showed some results has been copied and pasted from other experiments. Again, this has already been clarified by the Science Journal, Neurological Science Journal, who already said that they didn't find any data manipulation or any copying of data from other experiments. So this claim, this statement is, again, holds no position in my opinion, holds no strength in my opinion. Sorry guys, my battery died and I was traveling, so I was not carrying any extra set of batteries. Anyways, I'm back home now, so I'm recording the next part of this video. So basically what we just covered were the most important allegations which were reported in this New York Times article, and this was all what I wanted to let you guys know. So I just summed it up. I didn't go through the full article, like I said, because otherwise this video would have been a 40-50 minute long video, which I don't want, because then you guys probably will miss the most important part of this video anyway. So this is what happened. This was the real mess what surrounded Cassava Sciences, and it has been, I think, more than a month now that this article came out, and now since more than a month nothing more thankfully came out, because whatever comes out for Cassava Sciences, it's most of the times it's just negative news. But this doesn't affect me in a bad way. Like I said, I'm not blindfolding myself against all this negativity surrounding, because sometimes it does have some logical and important information as well, which we as shareholders should be focusing on as well. So like I said, I'm not completely biased in favor of Cassava Sciences. If something negative will come up, I would have to change my strategy. Like I said, I am not just putting all my money and thinking that okay, it will shoot up $200 to $200, $300, $500 someday, doesn't matter whatever happens. No, this is not the case. This is not how I invest, and this is not how you should be investing. Anyways, I'm not a financial advisor. So anyways, so these things came up, and like any other good CEO, Remy Barbier stood up and hit back at this article. And I do understand sometimes that it's not too logical and to focus on such allegations all the time, because it's just waste of time. And people usually should see how insiders are reacting for the company, in favor of the company or against the company, if they are selling their shares or if they are buying back their shares. And in case of Cassava Sciences, Remy Barbier recently bought a ton of shares, and this shows me that he is also confident about his drug, about his company. So this is what gives me much more confidence to hold on my shares, and in fact, if it dips more, buy back more shares. Like I said, my plan is to complete 400 shares for Cassava Sciences. I'm still holding 340 shares. I didn't add a single share until now to my position, but that's my plan if it comes below $20. So so this is what happened. And Remy Barbier, like I said, always stands up and replies to those allegations and all the negativity, because it's important for us shareholders as well to see that the CEO is responding, and the CEO is not just sitting back and relaxing and diluting the shareholders and don't focus on the shareholders' value. This is quite important for us, especially for such a business who is not generating any positive cash flow. If it would have been Tesla, I would be comfortable. Like all the negativity which is surrounding Tesla right now, Elon Musk doesn't give a shit, which is also not that good. But anyways, we are too much confident about Tesla, and we know that that negativity will not affect Tesla as a business. Yeah, but in case of Cassava Sciences, it's a fresh business. I mean, fresh in a sense that it has been in the focus since 2-3 years, and it is now working on a revolutionary drug. So we have to give them some space. Yeah, and also these short sellers should actually just, focus on something else to earn their money and not just target the same company again and again. But guys, we cannot stop this will keep on happening. So that's my advice. Whatever happens, observe, yeah, and then act, but don't act in a panic way. Yeah, find the logic behind, research, do your research, and then react accordingly, because all this news will never stop. Anyways, so now let's get on to what Remy Barbier said. I would again not go through the complete article. I would just give you guys a summary because I don't want to stress this video too long. Okay guys, so here we are. So Barbier claimed the Times reporter interviewed several researchers who were highly critical of the cassava data regarding Simoflem. In his response to the paper, Barbier said the sources that the Times cited were all known to have a negative bias against the company, which allowed the reporter to make a predetermined point. This is quite important. But Barbier pointed out that the article included two entities who held and are still holding a short position in the company's stock, which he asserts raises flags about their intentions about the company. So guys, this is one of the important things which I really wanted to let you guys know about and focus on, that we as shareholders should not be only focusing on such negative reports, such short seller reports, New York Times articles, or any other negative reports for any business which we are holding. And in this case, Cassava Sciences, yes, we as shareholders will be affected by such reports. And I'm also not denying the fact, guys, that this is completely ignorable. No, and we should not be in fact ignoring this news. Yes, all such news which comes out, we should be acknowledging the news. We should be reading the content. Yeah, content is the most important thing, and should be researching what is actually happening with the business, especially with such businesses who are not generating any cash flow. The news surrounding such businesses is quite important, especially for a pharmaceutical company who are researching and who are working on a historical drug. So any negative news, yes, does affect us, does affect as a shareholder, does affect the company as well. But we should be looking into the content. We should be doing our own research, not just reading the headlines and then go on a selling spree, yeah, and then later regretting when, if for example Cassava Sciences gets an FDA approval. Okay, I'm not saying it will get an FDA approval, but in case if it does, then you're at a big loss. But anyways, I'm not a financial advisor, so that's just my personal opinion. So this is the main gist of what I'm trying to say, guys, that please read the content of these articles. Don't just read the comments from people and yeah, get panicked and then reanalyzing your strategy and selling your shares each and every month, or buying something each and every month. No, please just stick to the businesses which you are confident on. Anyway, so later he says, on that basis, one would think the topic merits unbiased sources, both sides of the story, as much as information as possible for readers to judge the fairness of the reporter's story. Of course, when out of 9 reporters, 2 reporters are already holding a short position, how this is fair? Okay, anyways, so this is completely biased in my opinion against Cassava Sciences, and I don't know what the author was, the reporter was thinking, going to these people who are already having a negative opinion about Cassava Sciences. Yeah, this doesn't give Cassava Sciences a fair chance to stand up and give their opinion. Anyway, so knowing that 7 of 9 people are negative on the company before you even contact them is no one's idea of fair and objective reporting, Barbier wrote. Yes, out of 9, 7 people already held a negative opinion. 2 holding a short position. 2, I guess, were part of the citizens petition. Mrs. Berg, who has been against Cassava Sciences since I think 3 years or so. So 5 I already know, like, who actually had a negative opinion, and Barbier's add 2 more to the list. So 7 scientists out of 9. No, sorry guys, doesn't really, yeah. I cannot digest this information. Again, like I said, I'm not a biased person. If something really comes up bad and negative against Cassava Sciences, I would let you guys know, and I'm not saying that I will keep holding the shares forever. If something comes up, I don't want to be blind to Cassava Sciences and just keep on holding and yeah, go on for a zero. Again, But I'm also saying that if nothing bad or negative comes up and the reports are good from the research point of view, I'm saying, and if they still don't get the FDA approval, then that's a different story. I'm ready to lose all my money in that case, but not in such case. Now, Barbier further pointed out that some of the critics of Cassava's Alzheimer's approach, which is designed to restore the normal shape and function of the altered filamin A protein in the brain, are working on competing therapies. He noted that one of the critics cited was behind the 51 million Series A financing for Protego Biopharma, which is focused on developing a small molecule drug candidate that enable protein folding and trafficking in order to address the root cause of disease like Alzheimer's. Protego is a potential competitor of Cassava in the Alzheimer's space, Barbier said. So, this is one of the scientists who gave a negative opinion, who gave a negative statement and allegations against Cassava Sciences. But on the other hand, he is also working on a competitive drug for another biopharma company, Protego Biopharma company. So getting a statement from a person, from a scientist who's working in a competitive drug company and printing that statement in your research article, news article, and saying that this statement is against Cassava Sciences and not stating that that person was working or is working in a competitive drug company is totally unfair. It's I don't know how this author, to be honest, how she tried to just defame Cassava Sciences, and this is quite astonishing, guys, and this is quite unfair, and actually this is resulting in a actual loss, not for our shareholders, but for those who are actually suffering from Alzheimer's, because people won't be going to Cassava Sciences for test studies, and this is what Cassava Sciences is facing right now. So like I already said, Barbier also noted that some of the critics cited in the Times report were linked to a citizens petition filed with the US Food and Drug Administration, which was already denied. This petition was denied when the Journal of Neuroscience found no evidence in the research data and data manipulation. So this is already gone, and they are still after Cassava Sciences. I don't know how much short position they are holding, what is the percentage of short position they're holding, that they are literally after Cassava Sciences even after the FDA denied the citizens petition. Then Barbier went on to explain the devastating impact on Alzheimer's on patients as well as their loved ones. It's a disease that has very few treatments, particularly with the recent decision by the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services to recommend limiting coverage of Biogen's Aduhelm to only patients who are part of a clinical trial. So even the Biogen's Aduhelm, which was approved by FDA, now even the Center of Medicare and Medicaid Services recommends only to give this to some people, yeah, who are only a part of clinical trials. So just imagine, guys, how much is the need for an Alzheimer drug, and such petitions, such short seller reports, such articles are really just letting people to not go to Cassava Sciences and go on the trials. And this is what Cassava Sciences is thriving for. They really need people. They really need to test their drug, and if such reports keep coming out, people read it. Yeah, the normal people read it. Even not I'm not talking about the shareholders, but the people who actually are suffering from Alzheimer's, or their friends or their family members are suffering from Alzheimer's. They read it and then they lose confidence into such a company, and they are not confident enough. So this is the thing which I wanted to point out, and as a shareholder, I'm confident enough on Cassava Sciences, and I'm going to hold it until unless I do see that the results are declining and they are suffering from in their phase 3 trials. Okay, but until then, I have no problem even if it goes back to $5 before any FDA decision, before any negative results. Yeah, and negative results, not such reports, results. So I am confident on Cassava Sciences, not selling a single share. In fact, I'm planning to buy back more if it drops below $20. If it doesn't, then I will try to see what is my next strategy to increase my shares, and my limit is up to 400 shares. So I will try to figure out how can I increase my position. But like I said, guys, if you're not confident enough, if you're having sleepless nights, then go on and put it into a business which is much more stable in your opinion, and that's what I can suggest. But for now, that's all I wanted to let you guys know. That's all what I wanted to cover with Cassava Sciences. So this was another Cassava Sciences stock update video, and if you guys want to have more update videos on Cassava Sciences, then please use the comment section down below, because I don't know what you guys really want, because I'm a holder, so I will keep making update videos. But if you guys want regular update videos on Cassava Sciences, then please let me know. So that's it, guys. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and ciao.